How we doing, everyone? So back in the van, basically got one last big job to finish and then that should be us. Well, it will be us ready to hit the road. We're so close to starting this full-time van life, which we've been planning for 6 months now, but you know the story. If you didn't, go back, check my other videos out. Anyway, so I've got the Bobil van's hybrid hot water heater, so it runs either off your diesel heater, your solar, or when you're driving it heats up the water for you so that you've got hot water for washing the dishes or getting a quick shower, etc. So let's check that out and then we will start figuring out how we're going to place it in the van. So this is the water tank. That is a 10 litre hybrid water tank, so that'll heat water up from either the diesel heater when we're driving or excess solar power. Like when the batteries are charged, the excess solar power will go towards here. That is done automatically through the smart controller, and I also think that it plugs in to like a normal shore power plug. I'll need to watch the instruction video first anyway before I fit any of this up. And here is all the stuff that it comes with. So obviously instruction manuals, and that gives you a rundown of everything you're getting, and there's your QR codes for the installing it, introduction to the kit, and the smart controller. And then there's another one there just for the smart controller. Hoses. That goes over this unit here, which heats up the water. Not sure if you can see that now. You plumb in your hoses onto this, see it there? And that helps heat, I don't know, heats the water up anyway. That here is an expansion tank for the water coming out of this tank here. It's for pressure, I believe. Hose clips, and here you've got all your wires, smart controller, packet of Haribo, and in here is just more plumbing fittings and the small water pump. So that's all the stuff for it. Now I will go out to the van and figure out how and where I'm going to put all the stuff. So I think I'm going to put the tank there, and obviously the pipe for the diesel heater comes in here anyway. So I'll put the heat exchanger and the central plumbing unit and stuff under here, and then the central plumbing unit I'll have a drain pipe running down through the floor, so that should work out alright back there, and it'll get plumbed into here and then it'll just come down, like I said, and it'll run at the back of this all the way to the sink over here. So I think that should work. So this piece that's getting fitted, this end here at the front, that goes on to the diesel heater, and this is the motor which plugs into the smart controller, which moves. There's like a wee, if you can really see it, see that flap there that moves? So that will tell this whether you're heating the water or heating the van, or it can do both. So in the colder months you can be heating the van and heat the water at the same time. And there you go. So that will be the warm air coming straight for the diesel heater to this unit, which will then go to either heat the van or heat the water. So that is where the heat exchanger is going to go. This hole here, where you need to vent it, it's the hot air outside for when you're heating just the water, so you don't get the hot air circulating back into the van. And this will be for the heating. I'm just going to run that out here. I'm going to shorten the cupboard door just about here, say, vent be here for the heating. I'll not really use this as storage because it'll be access, just I need to get into any of this stuff for the hot water. So I'm going to need to drill 2 holes here and here for the hoses for the cold water inlet and the hot water outlet. Obviously because of the way it's set up with the tank being above. Got my jumper cover and the stuff there. That's just how it's got to be, and I will block this off just so still got a wee bit of storage here and nothing will bang into it or kink the hoses or pop the hoses, because that'd be the last thing we want. What a mess. Again, if you're doing it with an empty van, it's so much easier, but this is the choice I made, so I've got to go with it. So here's another wee job that I wanted to do. See, it's not got any markings, so you're like, what one's this? Back one comes on, and 2 minutes later you'll forget which one it was. So I bought the wee sticker things. So like I says, forgot already, I think it's that back one. Yep. Now this wee box here, this is where everything gets wired into. This is called the slave unit for some reason, but everything gets wired into here. So the water pump, the relay, this goes to the fuse box, positive, and the earth ground. Then the controller gets plugged in for the temperature from the tank, so it all gets plugged in here, and then it gets plugged into the smart controller. And you have all your different menus on here where you can change all your settings and stuff. So I'll now get this wired up. So that's where the tank's going. I am currently just wired everything up to that slave board unit. All the plumbing and stuff is all down here. That is the expansion tank, that is the heat exchanger. I need to cut out a hole in the floor for the hot air to exit. And I also had to buy a new fuse box because my fuse box only had space for like 6 appliances, and I needed an extra 2 for this water heater, 1 for the controller unit and 1 for the element in the actual tank. So I had to buy a bigger fuse box, which is pretty good anyway, because then if I add more stuff I've got extra spare space with the fuses. So now on to that. So I've got all the water heater stuff all connected. Had to get some new hoses for under the sink for the tap. They were leaking, so I'll need to arrange all this a bit better, tidy it up, trim some of the hoses. But as you can see, I've not connected the diesel air heater yet to heat up the water, but as you can see here, the DC heating element is on. So it's showing that my batteries are now at 13. They were at 13.7, they were full. So when your batteries are fully charged and you've got enough in the batteries and you're drawing solar, it can heat the water. So that's getting a test run right now, so I'll come back out in a wee bit, maybe an hour or so. I'm not 100% sure how long it takes, you read different things. So I'll come back out in about an hour and see where the water's at. Then I will tidy it all up and finish it off for there, and then we are good to go. We will be hitting the road very, very, very soon. And as you can see here, the light for the DC heater element is on, so that's good. That is showing that it's all working. And again, I will tidy up all the cables, get everything tucked away, trimmed up nice underneath here, and I will refit my door back in there. So this is going to be the first shower in the van. Hot water does work. You might be able to see there it's hard with the LCD flashing, but the water is 68 degrees whatever Fahrenheit, Celsius, I don't know. So I'm going to go quick shower. Not be a long one, I'll just get a wee quick wash. Because he's stinking! Stinking. Really. Stinking of freedom, mate, that's what I stinky. Anyway, shower time, I'll let you know how it goes. That was a success. Free hot water in the camper van shower. Granted, it's a bit of a squeeze, but at least I got a wash. See you in the next one, where I'll be nice and clean. Peace.